Just want to thank everybody for being here today. It doesn't surprise me at all. Always flattered and kind of humbled, especially this time of year. So many things going on, but for y'all to come out here today for basketball means a lot to us. Also want to thank our players for being here today. These guys are busy with summer school and workouts and weight room and everything they do in the summer, so it means a lot for the program, for our guys to be here today. So this is a big day for Tech basketball. First, I want to recognize the price of success. When you have good teams, people want your people, and I've always thought that's a sign of respect. So I was really pleased that Chris Ogden got the head coaching job at Texas Arlington earlier this spring. That's what it's all about. I think all of our guys, especially this year's staff, all these guys are future head coaches, probably sooner than later. Also want to thank and recognize Al Pinkins for his contributions to Tech basketball, and his family and wife Kara were dynamite. We hated to lose him, but the Florida job made a lot of sense to him, getting close to his family, which is important to Al, and I respect that. Also very pleased that 3 of our graduate assistants got Division I jobs this spring and early summer. Denver, Jared, and Parker all moved on, so that's what it's all about. So with today, it's an exciting day. We announced the hiring of our newest staff member. I've known Coach Cyprian for a long time. We've competed against each other, and we've always had a mutual respect, but I've really got to know him over the last couple weeks during this process. His resume speaks for itself. He's one of the most experienced coaches in college basketball. He's known as one of the best recruiters in our game and also one of the best floor coaches. He's worked for some of the all-time greats in our game. He's been a head coach. He brings a lot to the table. Exciting things, the last 4 years, he's been in the NBA, both with the front office and actually the head coach of the G League team in Memphis. So this will only benefit our players. Above all, I think what kind of separated SIP from the pack and why we're so pleased and just honored that he's going to coach here with us is his relationship with players. Everybody that I talked to, circle back to that. That's SIP's big deal, is his relationships with guys. And at the core of our program, we'd like to think we're a players program. We coach our guys hard, but we take a lot of pride in what we do for them off the court. We love our guys. We do anything in the world for them. So SIP not only fits that culture, he's even going to strengthen it. So the group of people that benefit most from this hiring today is our players, and that makes me really happy. So without any more, I'll introduce now our newest assistant at Texas Tech basketball, Glenn Cyprian.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank Coach for bringing me along here. Obviously, what he's done here in a fast motion it's just been tremendous. I'm not surprised. I've known Chris a long time, and like you said, we've competed against each other. But what he's done here in a quick time is just no surprise. He's obviously a tireless worker. He's a basketball junkie in a good way. And the only other thing that's more important is his girls, and that says a lot about who he is. Also, I want to thank the staff. It was important for me in making this decision. I wanted to be around good people. I've competed against Coach Adams and his teams way back when. I don't want to say how many years ago, when he was at a few universities. And Coach Berg, it was important for me, again, to be around guys that are hard workers and guys that I could enjoy being around. Lastly, I think most people know my relationship with Sean. Sean and I had a lot of success together in the Big 12, and that was as important. So with that being said, I'm excited to be here. I wanted to be at a university among a staff that shares the same vision as me, and that's winning and taking care of players and doing things the right way. So I'm honored to be here and very excited to get started.
Again, for questions, we'll get the microphone to you guys, and then just for the state of helping the coaching staff out, just with your name and affiliation to assist with the process, and we'll start with Carlos here in the front.
Carlos Silva with the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Coach, I guess obviously it was a long process. I guess what kind of really stood out to you? I know you mentioned just kind of what Coach Beard meant to you, but what else stood out to you about this job?
Carlos doesn't always dress up like this, man. That's respect.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I never thought about coming back to college. And through the process when L left and Coach Sutton and I and Coach Beard and I had some conversations about some other guys, and then the more we talked about it, the more for me it makes sense. I had some other opportunities, but this for me was the job in terms of because of my relationship, because of the way he treats his players, obviously the immediate success. but from a career standpoint as well. So, I'm awfully excited to be a part of this. And again, I'm just a little part. I just want to do my part. These guys have got this thing rolling, and I just want to be a little part of it.
Just in terms of what you've seen from the team, if you have had any time to kind of look at the players and what they have, I guess what have you seen from them?
Yeah, I haven't seen much. All I've seen is what's on film, and but I'm excited to see these guys and get started in the gym with them.
Any questions? We'll get the microphone to you. Anybody in the back, we can get it back there. Back to the John here.
Coach Adams, can you just speak to the experience that Coach brings to this group, obviously at the college level in 2004, being part of that Oklahoma State group that made it to the Final Four, but just being able to coach in the NBA and what that will do for the future of this program?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm just glad we finally hired someone. I'm tired of doing all the work around here for the last and I've known Seth for a long time, and he's a tireless worker. When you think about Coach Sickern, you think about professionalism and experience. I think that's in a good way. We've coached against each other back at when he was in the Sun Belt, when he was at Western Kentucky, and had some great games. I'm not going to tell you who won those games. If I won, I'd be talking about it. But just a great coach, and our players are going to love him because he's a player's coach. We're going to learn a lot from him, what he's learned in the NBA, and I'm excited about him being on board.
Go to John here in the back row.
John Sokoloff, Fox 34. Just what do you think what attracted you the most to Texas Tech about like the program and whatnot?
Well, I think it started with the leadership, and that's with Coach Beard, and again, what he's done here, and obviously, with the staff that he has supporting him around him, and then it's the players. I always think the players make the program. Obviously, you look at the successor, Keenan and Z leaving, and I think Keenan's going to be on the roster. I'd be very surprised if that doesn't happen here pretty quick. But you look at those things, and Coach Beard and I have gone back and forward. We've got to have guys every year that's getting drafted. And when you've got guys getting drafted, that means you're having success. I think Coach Beard was a little teased by going to the green room, but I think he's hungry and eager to get back to it. And those are conversations we've had, and I'm sure he'll remind me every time I go out to recruit.
We'll keep it in the back and middle.
Eric Kelly, KLBK. What are the biggest things you kind of take from the NBA and being that coaching profession that you can bring into the college level?
Yeah, I think the professionalism that professionals have. Obviously, I think the one thing I'll be able to tell our guys is the development portion of it. I think they see the finished product, guys running up and down, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. I was blessed the last 4 years to be around Mike Conley and Mark Gasol, two ultimate professional guys who was not only good on the floor, but they were fantastic off the floor. So I think a little bit of that will help me and what I'm trying to relate to our players.
Any questions? We can go back towards the front. Chuck, do you have any? Sure. We'll go to Chuck.
Hi, Coach. Chuck Hines, Double T 97.3. Can you talk about what your specialty will be from a coaching standpoint, the positions that you'll be focused on?
Yeah, I think it'll be just totally everything. Just the basketball portion of whether it's offense, defense. Again, I just want to play a role here from that standpoint. Obviously, recruiting is the lifeblood of any program, so that's going to be very important. But whatever I can help them with, every young kid wants to be in the NBA. And maybe perhaps there's some things that we ran or I've seen that we can talk about here that will help make this program a little bit better.
As a recruiter, you've been to enough schools and been to enough programs that you know what to look for from just a physical standpoint. When you look around here and look around Lubbock, what do you see that you go, oh man, I can sell this program and I can sell what we have here moving forward?
Well, every situation is different. I think here working for Coach is going to be, first of all, high IQ. We obviously want some guys that knows how to play at a high level, can play without the ball. You look through the draft, guys that got drafted, especially lottery guys, are really athletic guys, so we got to have some of those as well. But I think it's a combination of everything. But for him, it's got to be hard-working guys that's going to play hard and it's going to play at a high level.
But just from a building standpoint, what do you see?
In terms of type of player?
I guess I was just looking. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, you're fine.
I was just looking at it from the standpoint of the arena and the weight room and the Womble and everything. That's the physical aspect of the university.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things to sell. Is that what you mean in terms of the physical? Yeah, I mean, you look at, obviously, we've played here. I've been on the other side, the other bench, and it's a tough place to play, especially when you got it going. Obviously, I've heard we're in the process of possibly building a new practice facility across the street. So there's a lot of positive to recruit guys here. I hope that answered your question.
We'll go back to Carlos.
Coach Burke, I know you got elevated to an assistant. I guess what's that been like? What's been different? And I guess if you could just speak to Coach Cyprian a little bit.
It's actually been a million miles an hour, but it's been an enjoyable experience. The one thing that I would say is I like working with these guys in the back every single day. The culture is pretty intact. We lost 5 seniors and also Zaire Smith, but these guys in the back of the room have bought into our culture under the leadership of Coach Beard. And I'm just excited that Coach Cyprian, Coach Adams, and I get to work together, but also continue the journey of where we're headed.
We'll go to Jared here in the middle.
Hey, Coach. Jared Johnson with InsideTheRedRaiders.com. There's been a lot of talk about, you as a recruiter, your history, your success as a recruiter, and then, of course, Tech's had a lot of success under Coach Beard since he's been here. Well, what's your style? How would you describe your style on the recruiting trail?
Well, I mean, I think it's all about fit. The conversations I'll have with recruits is about, make sure you go somewhere, whether it be here or wherever, go somewhere where you can fit. It's got to be fit to style of play. You got to be fit to culture of what we're trying to do. Again, it goes back to character. We've got to have high character guys. And so I think when I'm out on the recruiting trail, that's the most important thing. And we've got to get guys that can play hard and play at a high level. So I think that's the speech I'll be giving throughout this process.
Thanks.
Anything else for the coaching staff? We can get the microphone to you.
One final thing I wanted to say, I wanted to, recognize Coach Sutton in this process. We're very fortunate that the Sutton family's coming back for year 2, and Sean's more than anything kind of an advisor to me with the NCAA rules, the things you can do and can't do. Basically, coach is the coach. It's the easiest way to kind of say it, but he was invaluable during this process, just bouncing ideas off of and keeping me organized. So he's done so much for our program in a short amount of time here. I'm just excited, and I know our players are too, that he's coming back for year 2. And then also Max, who's not here today. He's out watching our guys in the summer league in Vegas, but Max did a lot with the organization of this process, bringing in the different guys and things like that. And ultimately, we think we nailed it. We think we got a great person and a great coach. And again, our players are going to be the ones that benefit mostly. But I want to thank Coach Sutton and Max as well.
Thank you, guys.
Can I actually ask one more real quick? I'm sorry, Coach, I forgot to ask you. And maybe I missed it, but have y'all hired a chief of staff to replace Coach Beard?
Yeah, and I never really knew what that title meant, chief
Right.
of staff.
It was on there, so.
That's because he's been doing it.
They got so many titles these days, director of ops, player development, advisor, chief of staff. I think really where me and Burke came up with that is we got a chance to meet Kenny Bell. Kenny Bell's a cool guy, man.
Yeah.
Everybody know Kenny Bell? I walked away from meeting Kenny Bell for 5 minutes, like, man, that guy's pretty cool. And Berg was like, yeah, man, what do you think about that title? So we just kind of stole that from him. Just like in basketball, we don't really invent anything, you steal a lot of things. So give Kenny Bell the credit for that title. But the question, we do have some flexibility with staff and look to hire one more person in a non-coaching role over the next couple of weeks. I've always been kind of patient with this. Like the tendency is like, man, who are you going to hire? But to me, it's about getting it right. And so sometimes you can get it right quickly, and sometimes you got to go through the process. But whoever we'll hire will be another guy that's centered around our players, somebody that understands that everything we do is about our guys.